Let us introduce you to Sunbites, the latest brand competing in the snacking category. Now, Sunbites has informed consumers about the brand, yet hasn't managed to have them talk about it. It was all about the brand talk and not the consumer talk. So how can a young and new brand interact with the audience, engage and differentiate itself in a fun and dynamic way? Before telling you how, let's establish a few things. When hunger strikes, people tend to compromise on what they eat. They go for anything available and mostly unhealthy food. But snacking doesn't always have to be a guilty pleasure. It can be healthy while still satisfying hunger. Plus, people of today will not compromise on health anymore. That's why Sunbites is here to offer the solution. How? We decided to create a campaign to engage the consumer and tell them what the brand is all about while producing buzz amongst the crowds by taking it to a different level. We wanted to get more engagement than a regular sampling initiative while creating more noise and more word of mouth. We also needed to leave people with a Sunbites experience to talk about. So we had the idea to create awareness about unhealthy snacking by shocking the crowd with a freezing flash mob. People will now stop and think twice before snacking on anything unhealthy. For the first time in Egypt, an on-ground activation involving a freeze flash mob was implemented in high-traffic areas in more than 80 locations across the nation. A huge group of ushers infiltrated the crowds in busy spaces, walking around and blending in. Suddenly, they all froze for 15 minutes, creating a sense of wonder within the crowd. People waited around to see what would happen next and even found ways to further engage and interact with the ushers. A buzzer sound then went off, adding more confusion, and even more ushers on rollerblades rolled in, distributing samples of Sunbites to all those who were there. The activation shocked and was greatly acknowledged by our target audience. Its message of stopping and thinking before compromising on what to eat boomed very well with them. The activation also created word of mouth and buzz, inducing trial among the crowd in universities and malls. People were impressed, clapping and directly interacting with the ushers. Sunbites was finally recognized as the snack with no worries or guilt. It is the perfect snack, no more compromise. 1 million samples of Sunbites distributed, when sampling initiatives usually do not exceed 100,000. 3 million people engaged via this exercise, the highest number ever. 75% growth on average monthly sales was achieved, and 300% growth in key accounts and modern trade. A simple sampling initiative turned out to be the biggest, most talked about activation in Egypt, the first ever activation of this size. Sunbites, snack with no worries.